Hey mums, how you doing? Lovely to be here with you today. Let me ask you this. Have you ever sat down to post something for your side hustle and just stared at the screen? Hands up if that is you. Maybe you feel like you had nothing original to say or you weren't even sure if anyone would care. And that's because posting without a purpose is like setting up a lemonade stand in the desert. No one's around to see it. And even if they were, they might not be thirsty. Well, you'd think in the desert they'd be thirsty, right? But what if you knew exactly where your people were hanging out and what they were craving and how you could draw them in? Well, in today's call, that's what we're going to cover. So, welcome, mums. It's so great to have you here with us today. And I've got the lovely Laura and Rita in our Zoom room. Thank you guys so much for being live with us. Why don't you drop in the comments? Just say hi, and I think it'd be fun just to hear what's one new thing your kids are doing today. So, Laura, what's one new thing one of your kids has done this week?
Goodness. Well, Alvine's standing, so
Wow.
that's
Wow.
crawling to standing.
Austin,
Yeah.
have you done anything new?
Austin's learning his sounds of his alphabet, aren't you, buddy?
Ooh,
That's
good
sometimes
job,
quite
Austin.
cool. Yeah, and Mackenzie's learning division.
Oh my
Woohoo.
goodness.
Division with we actually played this really neat game with playing cards and working out division with playing cards. So it's all go here this
Oh,
week.
lots of learning in your house.
Lots
Well, if you are watching us live on Facebook, welcome, or on the replay, why don't you drop replay in the comments? And if you are with us on YouTube, please hit the comments up, let us know who you are, maybe like say something new that your kids are doing, or just drop the two letters hi. It's great to have you here and yeah, be part of our call. So, Laura, I have a question for you, and I don't know if you'll have an answer to this, or Rita might be able to answer in the comments, but what platform have you ever spent any time scrolling on? Because you didn't have social media till like soon, right? You
Yeah.
have Facebook though.
Facebook, yeah. Um, Trade Me in Facebook.
Yeah. So that's like where you would scroll. Rita, do you want to drop in the comments if you're able to, where you spent time scrolling, Facebook and Instagram? Yeah, I feel like that's me too. I've sort of hesitated to dive into TikTok because it's like another place to get lost. But today we're going to be talking about how to choose the right social platform. But before we do, I just want to tell you a secret mum hack that I've been doing now. Well, parts of it I've been doing for about 3 months, and parts of it I've been doing already for a whole year and a half almost. Oh, not quite. She's considering TikTok, but it's hard to start another platform. Rita, I am in the exact same boat as you. I am considering TikTok. The idea of it is fun in my head, but I feel like something's going to have to give. Or I can wait. I've got another secret project I've been working on. I've not let many people into that. So when that secret project finishes, maybe TikTok will get there. You really have to live with the mindset that um, you're not going to miss out if you don't do everything, right? Like you got to put yourself in the challenge zone, try things, but also be realistic about what can you actually be consistent with. And so I think that that actually does play a role in how to choose the right social platform. But anyway, I was going to tell you my little secret mum thing I've been doing is, my daughter is now very close to 18 months, and I do not feel like my body has come back quite as quickly as last time. So for about 3 months now, I got a new iPhone a little while ago, and I got free the Apple Fitness app. So I've literally been, my goal has been to just do like a 15 to 20 minute walk a day. So it doesn't take long, and that gets me outside in the fresh air, and I love it. Like I find that time really refreshing, especially if I can do it by myself. Sometimes it's pushing a pram, and sometimes if necessary it's going to the lake with a toddler on a scooter or something. And I listen to a book if I can, if I don't have kids with me. Yeah, so I do a 20-minute 15 20 minute walk, and then I do just a 10-minute strength workout from the Apple Fitness app. And yeah, after the 3-month free trial, so I must have been using it for longer than 3 months because I just made a payment a few weeks ago, so I must be into my 4th month. But I've noticed a massive difference in my body, and like I noticed my curvatures are a lot more like what's the word? They just look nicer. And Laura, what's the word?
Tone?
Tone, yes, that's the word. Laura's our in-house fitness instructor, fitness coach,
Yeah, fitness coach, personal trainer. Yep.
all
Yep.
those good things. But guys, I've been doing this other thing. So I use these patches. They're really amazing. These ones activate your stem cells. And I've actually started using a new one that suddenly became available in New Zealand called X. This is an X39, and the one I've just started using is an X49. I've been on it for just over a month now, and one of the benefits of it has lots of benefits. But the reason I'm personally using it is because well, the benefit I want is fat loss. And I said to my husband this morning, I put on the jeans that I'm wearing and this top, and I was like standing in the mirror and I was like, oh man, like, oh, I think I'm looking a little bit slimmer. So I didn't weigh myself at first, so it's not a scientific outcome, but I feel good about myself and I've definitely noticed some changes. So just wanted to share that little mum hack with you before we jump into choosing the right social platform. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So your platform should match where your audience hangs out, what content you enjoy making, what fits your lifestyle and your time, which we just chatted about, and your natural strengths. So is your natural strength videos, writing, or photos? Oh, I like that, Laura. That's the way it should be. Everyone, I'm going to click on the comments. Everyone should not be based on the scales. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, so your natural strength will help dictate what platform is going to be good for you. So video, writing, or photos. But I would also challenge you. I think that we should put ourselves in the challenge zone. So if you are good at writing, do that, and then put yourself in the challenge zone and do some talking and some videoing. Give yourself a chance, because sometimes you don't know what you're going to be good at until you give it a try. Okay. And then have some good friends like we do in this mum tribe who can give you feedback. Get some feedback on your videos, get a feeling of what people think and how they feel. So ask yourself, if I had to choose one platform for the next 3 months, which would it be? So drop that in the comments. Which platform would you choose to dedicate yourself to for the next 3 months, and why? So here's some ideas for you guys, since your mum's in business, and these are like good starter platforms. So of course, Facebook is a great starter platform. You get your personal profile and you've got your groups. Also, if you want to have a business page, you can have a business page, and that's a great place to if you want to do later on, any advertising will be coming off your business page. So having a business page can be advantageous, and getting posts up there, because you've got to prove that your page is legitimate before they let you do a lot of spend money on advertising. I like what you just said, Laura, that that TikTok scares you, but you're going to commit. I love it. And Rita, you like Instagram because it's easier to do daily stories and reels. So yeah, I'm definitely I like to create on Instagram. I think TikTok has probably more options, but I don't know how to do them yet. So I get frustrated. And also, if I create on Instagram, it goes into my Facebook, but for some reason my reels won't transfer. Anyway, so that's Facebook, Instagram, stories, and reels. YouTube is for trust building content, and that's because YouTube is best for long form content. That's why I've chosen it for putting up our Mum with a Side Hustle weekly Zoom calls. And yeah, so that's why I've put that there, and hopefully I eventually get onto some podcasting. That's my goal, is to put it on the different podcasting platforms. But right now, my capacity is YouTube. And so once I have established myself there, then I will move on to the next one. So TikTok is if you're up for short form energy. And also what I've learned is that TikTok is meant to be like a diary of your journey. And that's why Laura's going to press into that one for her brand. And if you didn't catch the conversation I had live with Laura last week, then you really need to go back and watch it, because it was super fun. Laura, you are great, and I'm so excited to be part of the beginning of your journey. And I have a really exciting little piece of news I'm going to tell you at the end of today's call about a guest that we're going to have next week. So we're going to have another live interview, but it'll be a Zoom interview. Okay, and the last platform that you might consider is LinkedIn. I haven't spent a lot of time here, but ChatGPT tells me that it's good for thought leaders or coaches. And that could be a place that you might want to grow a following. So I don't want to restrict us to just what I've had experience in. I'm just letting you know that LinkedIn could be an option. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go over some of the best content by platforms. What I might do just quickly is share my screen. I didn't spend time creating graph for you. I apologize, but this might be useful for you to actually see it. Can I just double check that you can see that? Yeah, cool. Okay, so here's like a little bit of an overview. So Facebook personal pages are best for connection, long posts or stories. And the tip is to mix public and friends. Okay. Facebook groups are for community. You want to be doing questions and lives. So cool. I'm on the right track. And you want to be posting kind of 3 times a week. Although I just realized this morning I did not schedule my post for this week on Mum with a Side Hustle. So that was a fail. Okay, Instagram. Instagram is good for visual and lifestyle. So Instagram is great. I've just been speaking. This is a little clue. Our guest next week is an artist. And oh, that's the secret. I just let it out of the bag. Next week we're having a guest. Yeah, so she's an artist, and so Instagram's a great place for her. And she does a lot of posts of her art. But one of the cool things about Instagram is you can do a lot of reels and carousels. And you can use hashtags because that's how you get your content to show up. And guys, don't spend all your time trying to figure that out. Just ask ChatGPT to write your hashtags for you. Simple. Give them your caption or give them your content description and it will write those hashtags. Because I don't know about you, but I don't have time to think of what on earth hashtags to put there. Is anyone else with me? Okay, YouTube. It's best for evergreen, so things that are going to stay up there and trust. It's best for tutorials and stories and for creating a series, which is like exactly what we've done right now, is how to build a personal brand in a year in under 3 hours a week. TikTok is all about growth. You want to have hooks. So that means a hook is what you say at the beginning. And I read somewhere today that the hook on TikTok is really only 3 seconds. So Laura, that's a tip for you. When you're crafting your script, you want your hook to be 3 seconds long because after 3 seconds, swipe, you're gone. And if you want to scale fast, you post more often. It says here posting daily. What I read was 1 to 2 times a day. So no pressure. That's not what you need to do. You can imagine how you could do that, which would be creating, I'll just give you an idea, a posting plan. So maybe you choose a topic for a week and on one day you create a long form piece of content and you cut it into pieces. Or you create, say you've got a theme for that week or that month, and you create different types of posts about the same thing. And I think one cool thing about social media is if you want to say the same thing, that's okay, because a lot of people miss your posts. So you can say the same thing, but say it in different ways. And that's totally a legitimate way of repurposing your content and not spending, like I can spend quite a long time on one article, but then I can repurpose it in different ways. And I just actually use ChatGPT to help me do that. Can you help me write this from this angle? Or can you, I'm going to go over soon the 4 different types of posts. Can you make this into a connection post? Can you make this into a call to action post? And it will kind of rephrase it for me. And that sounds like it. Sometimes I wonder, like, is it really genuinely me? But ChatGPT can't write that stuff unless I've given them the content. And secondly, by repurposing it like that, I'm also learning. Like, I think my learning curve on social media has been super fast this year compared to last year because I've been using this AI tool. I mean, I'm not paid by them, but I should be. Because I'm using this AI tool, I'm learning so much more about how to write a caption, how to do a call to action, how to like connect with people in a genuine way, how to word the things I want to say to people. Because even in like connecting with people, that's often what would hold me up is like, oh, I don't know how to say that in a genuine way, or I sound too sales pitchy. Now I just ask ChatGPT and it helps me rephrase myself. And yeah, I just don't know why you'd waste time. So that's my number one tip. Okay, we've just talked about TikTok. Pinterest, I'm also not really on Pinterest. I used to love Pinterest. Pinterest is good for searchability. You might want to put quotes in there, blog pins, and links to freebies. LinkedIn, we've talked about that, gives you authority because LinkedIn is seen to be a bit more academic. You might want to share insights and stories, but you don't want to do hard selling on LinkedIn. Okay, so ask yourself, which of these platforms do you feel curious about trying next, even if it feels a little bit out of your comfort zone? I don't think you guys need to unmute to answer that because we both know that you're curious about TikTok. Okay, so here is a really important question, and I think I'm just going to stop my screen share now. You can see all my notes. So should my profile be public? Yes. Yes, your profile should be public. If you're building a brand, you're not just sharing updates with your family. Okay, so if you're building a personal brand, you need to be public in some way. Your Facebook personal page, you can use public posts and you can have a friends follower mix. So people can add me as a friend or they can just follow me. And that's a good way to think about it. You might want to protect your privacy by being selective with post settings. So on some platforms, you can choose like who can see what you're posting. And you can share values-based vulnerability. So you don't have to share everything about your life. You don't have to overshare, but you can be vulnerable on the topics that are your topics for your social media, if that makes sense. So, remember, you're not just sharing everything, you're sharing strategically to help build and connect. Okay. And I know that we've talked about this before, but you're going to want to create some pillars around your social media, some topics that you're going to regularly talk about. And that's the sort of topics that you can be vulnerable and share about. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about this. Should I mix my personal life with my brand? Yes, you do need to, because it's your personal brand, it's about you. But you need to do it with intention. Okay, so you might want to try this. You might want to do 70% kind of behind the scenes encouragement in real life. You might want to do 20% teaching and value and 10% promotional or calls to action. Okay, so 70, 20, 10. 70% behind the scenes, 20% teaching, and 10% promotion. So for an example, I have been sharing some moments from my life recently, but trying to connect them back to mum with a side hustle. So if you see some of my content, oh, I'm going to sneeze. It's going away. Real life. Some of my story, not my story, some of the things I've been sharing on Facebook recently are stories from my life. So this has sort of been a roll-on effect of sharing. I did a whole big push right up until the day I turned 40 of things that I'm grateful for. And so I've actually been thinking more about those moments and expanding on them and sharing them. And so, yeah, a lot of my content is around that. I probably personally need to do a bit more teaching and value on my personal Facebook page. I tend to keep a lot of that to my group, but I do want to maybe once a week put out a teaching or a value post. And then you only want kind of like a 10% call to action, like getting people to telling them about your products or what you do. So, yeah, I think I've heard before, I have some great podcasts that I listen to, but they talk about like you really want to be giving people so much value that they want whatever it is that you've got. And the value isn't just your product that you sell or the product that you affiliate, it's the topic that you are known for. Okay, so that can be something about your life. So for me, it's being a mum with small children and rising to the challenge of having a small side hustle on the side. Well, it's not a small side hustle. I don't like that word. Having a side hustle business on the side because it will not stay small. We are working to grow it, but that's kind of like my life and my behind the scenes, the encouragement, the message I want to bring. And so then my 20% is like, how do I do that? how do I be a great mum? How do I be a present mum? And then how do I only spend a few hours a week building a brand? And then there's a 10%. There is an opportunity, and you do have to talk about what you have to offer. So I'm going to come into that in a minute. People buy from people, not logos. Especially mums, they want real. They want to know about your life. Again, you don't have to share everything. So think about, like, what about your life and what about who you are is part of your message, part of your pillars. Okay, so let's talk about your brand and how it needs to solve a problem. We haven't talked about this a lot in Mum with a Side Hustle, but I do want to go into it because it can be a hard one for us to solve. But please give me a second. I'm just going to have a sip. Okay, so in terms of why your brand needs to solve a problem, if your brand doesn't help people with something that they're struggling with, it will get lost in the scroll. Okay, so if I think about who I follow and who I enjoy posts about, they're people who solve a problem or they're into something that I like, but I don't know about it. So a friend of mine, she's into all things health. She grows her own herbs. She is into some sort of clean water. She's got some supplements. So I like following her, and she's also a mum and she wants like non-toxic things in their environment for their kids. So I like following her because she solves a problem for me. She gives me information about new herbs that I haven't heard of, for example, and how to turn them into essential oils, for example. So that's an example of how she's helping me. And now I'm getting to know her and I'm getting to know her through her information about that she shares, the specific stuff she shares about her life, her family. And so her posts I'm more likely to stop on because she's solving a problem. So you're not just posting content, you're offering, and like for me, I want to offer encouragement to tired mums. I want to give hope to people who get stuck, and I want to give them a real life example of what is possible. And, like today, I just share with you about, this is the patch that I use, but that's a real life example. Like this patch isn't just a patch. Like this patch has meant that I could show up with a clear mind in a good mood for my kids and for my side hustle, and it's made it a joy and not a stress. That's what I want to share with you. That's my real life example. So you are a bridge between someone's current struggle and their desired transformation. So maybe drop in the chat. I'm just going to check if anyone's on Facebook and I've missed you. I'm so sorry. Oh no, we're all good. But later on, if you leave a comment, I'll come back and read it. So what problem does your personal brand help solve, emotionally or practically, for other mums? Can you guys think about that for a second? Maybe unmute. I've got an idea for you, Rita. I don't know if you can unmute there. Can you unmute, or you've got other people around you? Oh, you can. What problem does your brand help solve, Rita? Emotionally or practically? I think your brand actually solves both of those problems.
Yeah, makes people feel better about themselves when you feel like you've got, something bright on your lips, or I don't know, just makes you feel better about something.
Yeah.
And also how to apply stuff if you don't know how or what to apply.
Yeah. And also there's that component of your makeup that is long lasting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So is it just lipstick that's long lasting, or it's all of your makeup?
Most of it's long lasting, yeah.
Yeah, because with kids, right, like it's going to get bumped off. Like I already redid my makeup from this morning.
Yeah.
Because most of it was just kind of gone.
Yeah.
So you're solving.
Whereas I've been swimming and it's still there sometimes.
That's crazy. And if you were to think wider, so that's your product, what your product, how your product helps people, but you're still working on figuring out what your personal brand is. So after what I've been talking about today, have you got any thoughts or any questions for yourself about your brand, or what problem you want to solve for someone, for a mum?
Yeah, it definitely needs like how to combine the product with me as a person. Like I just getting those two together is my brain challenge.
Is it challenging because you've got to think about who you are, and like you're such a doer, aren't you? You're such a practical, down to earth, like just get in the fray and help people. You probably don't spend a lot of time thinking about like your own identity, like who am I?
No, I'm just
Is that
like,
a
I
fair
don't
call?
know. Yeah. And also I'm just like,
Yeah.
I asked the question, I'm like, I don't know the answer.
But that's okay. Like I think that
Yeah.
that's really beautiful. One, because you're such a giver of other people. You're such a generous-hearted, warm, genuine person. And if I was following you on social media, which I am, like I would love that. But it's you discovering now how to see you've almost got to be looking in the mirror for more than just the makeup and being like, who is Rita? Like what is she
Mm.
showing up in the world? What value does she bring to other people's lives? Um, and learning how to talk about yourself, which one is hard as a Kiwi, as a New Zealander. If you're tuning in and you're not from New Zealand, we're terrible at this, talking about ourselves. And two, I think, because of your personality, your gifting is one of those beautiful in the background supporting people. You don't think a lot about like your identity and yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
now your challenge is to go on a journey of discovery about what
Mm.
value you
Yeah.
bring the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you going to start that?
Keep asking questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It gives me some time to think about it. I hope that Rita and I had a call last week, eh? Did
Mm.
any of that help you see yourself differently?
Mm. Yeah.
What did you notice about yourself? I mean, I know your baby was screaming the whole time. What
Yeah.
did you walk away thinking about yourself, or did you have any new revelations on who you are?
Just kind of how, even though I'm more in the background, like just how that can actually still help people and how to kind of like, yeah, just how to see that and add it into my, well, like get my brain around my brand and like how it all goes together. Yeah, just starting to just slowly
Yeah.
piece it together.
I'm so excited for you, Rita, and we'll finish this Rita interview in just a moment, but I'm really excited for you because your desire to grow this side hustle is actually inviting you into discovering yourself. And I think like that's the
Mm.
whole thing, like with Mum with a Side Hustle, it's like, how do we create side hustles that are a joy and not a stress? And I think part of that joy is discovering the beauty of who we are, right? And
Yeah.
how we actually bring that to the world. But anyway, what about you, Laura? What problem do you think your personal brand solves?
I was just gonna say maybe that's Rita's story. Maybe come watch me discover myself with my makeup. I don't know. Like,
That's actually true. That is a really beautiful, and that could be your journaling aspect, Rita. Like, rather than trying to show up with like this is who I am, be like, I've just recently realized that I don't really know what value I bring the world. So come with me. Maybe you wouldn't say it like that. You'd find it. How would you say it, Laura?
I don't know. I
Rephrase
was,
the
I was just
words.
thinking that even when Rita just said in a line was I can't remember what she said, like like you're in the background. She said something about the background, and I was like, but she wants to stand out with her makeup. So I think that that's a cool little concept there. Like, yeah, I don't know where she could go with that, but it just made me wonder. I was like, that's kind of neat. She's in the background and she's an observer and a helper. She's not at the front of the showy side, but how do you show yourself in that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that you would be able to speak to people in your position
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
don't
Not
want to be the front of the stage,
yeah.
but want to be really like more comfortable in their own skin or proud of themselves.
Yeah.
Because no matter whether we're like stage people or not, like we should still be able to feel like we can show up and feel good in our skin.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's a whole audience for every type of person.
Yes,
So
yes. Yeah. Love it, Laura. Okay, Laura, what about you? What problem is your personal brand going to solve? Have you thought about this?
yeah, that is a very good question. I think as I've been like sitting and sort of doing a lot of homework around it, I think what stands out for me is like um, simplifying like some people think that being disciplined and being discipled and living the good life and is all a bit much. Like they just want to survive, right? They just want to just not put any thought into it and show up. I look after my kids, I pay the groceries, or whatever it is. But it's actually easier than that. And it's
Yeah.
just a starting. So I feel like, yeah, the battle I have at the moment was similar to how to show up on the personal on the social media, because I have this like underlying thing that's speaking to me that's saying like, I'm not a showy person. I want you to take it for what it is here, but also the growth that comes with that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know, it's tricky. Yeah, because
Have you
obviously,
have you asked? So I actually, when I did those 40 things I'm grateful for to turning 40, that was definitely something I felt as I posted. I was like, man, this is just so all about me. I mean, social media is all about you. But one of the things I chatted to ChatGPT about that dilemma, and it was just saying like people love to hear other people's life stories and reflections because they can see themselves in it. And if that person, and you talked about this last week, Laura, if that person had the courage to rise in that situation, then I can actually learn from them and I can take that and rise too.
yeah, and I think my lens has changed through social media lately, and I'm like, actually, when you do look at it, there's a huge amount of superficial people sharing me stuff, but there's a huge amount of people that are sharing good value content and that you resonate with, that you're like, oh, um, so I think you need to forget about what you sort of see
Yeah.
at the base level and think about, yeah, um, what else is out there to add value to people's lives. And yeah, I'm just sort of battling with like, yeah, in your first post, I'm not one to wear a lot of makeup, but is it a raw, intimate video of me telling you my journey? Is that something that people want to see, or do they want to see someone sort of made up and sitting in a spunky little studio? I'm not sure. Yeah, so
Do
it's
you know
like,
what? You know the reason why I would say wear makeup and have a nice background is because you only have a few seconds to win someone over. I watched this on an incredible YouTube video and I'll post it in our Mum Tribe chat again. But she was just saying psychologically, we don't have a lot of, if we're watching something, we want to put it in a category. And so the way you show up on a camera puts you in a category for someone. And the simpler they can categorize you, the more the less work it is for their brain and the more likely they are to engage. So when you appear well dressed and with nice makeup and with a good background, people automatically assume that you know more about what you're talking about, you are more credible, and that you are probably a nicer person. Can you
fascinating.
believe that? I know it's shallow. But if you look nice, people will trust you more. Ah, it's almost totally against the way I think I was told to think growing up, that it's not genuine to have lots of makeup on. But the reality is that if you don't look tidy and nice, people think about you less. And you don't want to put a barrier up, you want to have another thing. I'm just seeing Rita's comments. I'm just going to go have a look. Look how Alicia's 2 recent reels have done, one with filter and captions and one without. I know, and it was an accident. I don't know how that happens. That one had no captions. And I've hidden one on my things, Rita, so I need to go back and look. So, like, can you see, what did you notice, Rita? Did one get a lot more comments?
No, just one's got like double the amount of views. The one with the captions and the filter on it to like it just blurs your face slightly. Has like twice as many views as the other one.
There we go.
I think probably captions will be because that way
Yes.
people can hear what you're saying or see what you're saying when you're not, when you've
Yeah.
got it on mute.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that observation. Is that because you've been doing my social media audit or you just happened to notice that?
Yes. No, I was looking through at your stuff for the audit and I was like, hey, hang on a minute, there's 2 the same, but no.
If you're
They're not
watching
quite
this,
the same.
it'd be cool for you to understand that these two amazing mamas are part of our mum tribe. So it's just a very intimate group. And we this month we're into our 4th month of hanging out together, and we're going to do a social media audit on each other. So Laura missed the beginning of that, but we'll probably do another one in 4 months' time. And what we're doing, Laura, is we are looking through each other's social media and just giving some like constructive feedback and encouragement. But isn't that helpful? I think that's so helpful. That's why I did it. And it's challenging.
Yeah, I did.
It's confronting. Okay, so I'm going to segue into, I've got like 8 points today. So here's number 6. Oh no, not 8. Oh, yes, I do have 8. Okay, 8. Number 6. So how to post about affiliate offers without feeling salesy, or post about your brand or your product, right? So a lot of us are using social media to leverage an affiliate product. It's great to do that because you don't have to have a lot of stock. You can sign people up so that they can order it easily, or they can get involved with your product easily. So let's just talk about how to talk about your offer. So you want to go with story first and product second. So you want to tell someone why something helped you. This is going back to the problem you solve. You want to make it personal and relatable. So if you start with buy this, they're probably going to scroll past you. Okay. One, it's pushy, it's salesy. I mean, like none of us want to sound like that, but here's a formula. Talk about your story. Story first, product second. So here's an example. ChatGPT helped me with this. I told them that's why I'm talking about patches today. So after baby number 2, I felt like a shell of myself. This is actually true. These patches helped clear the brain fog so I could show up for my kids and grow my side hustle again. Genuinely, that's what I told ChatGPT, and it made it small. So it could create categories like what's helping me this week. I could do a post about that, and I could include my patches. But see, that's a value post. Mum life hacks. I actually started with a mum life hack. This is what I do to get fit in 10 minutes a day. Energy boost tips. And then I can include the patch in that. So you can use your bio, your highlights, or your pin posts to share links quietly but effectively. So if someone wants to find your thing, they can do it that way. And one thing I'm learning about at the moment, which I haven't included in today's call, but I'm hoping that it will become very soon an important part of how to build a personal brand, is how to follow up on leads. So people who comment on things like that, how do I engage with that person genuinely so that I can offer them value off platform? Okay, so there's the what we do on the comments and stuff, but that isn't necessarily going to convert to purchases, right? So how do we convert them? How do we connect with people in a genuine way without feeling like I'm only talking to them because I want a sale? Like how can we show up in the world and help people? If we have time, I saw a really beautiful post about that, how a style coach did that today. Okay, so how to get views and engagement. Number 7, we're on to 7 and we'll be on 8 in a second. So each platform has its own rhythm, and here are some quick hacks. This is what you guys need to learn, okay? So your personal Facebook page, you should be commenting before you post and after you post. And you should be commenting before you post a personal story. So you should be, the suggestion is to comment before and after you post, and then post personal stories and ask a question. Okay, so that's the strategy for your personal Facebook page. Comment before you post, comment after you post, and then post a personal story and ask a question so that someone can comment below. I think that I was naturally doing that really well before I started anything to do with Mum with a Side Hustle. That is something that I was naturally doing. So there's things that we can learn from and lean into. I'm just checking that I haven't missed any comments. Rita wrote put a particular word, then you can send them a link. Yeah, yep. One of my business partners does that really effectively. Okay, Facebook groups. So go live weekly. Yay, tick, we're doing that. This is how to get views and engagement. Use polls and conversation starters. I've done that. Like I said, this week I dropped the ball and didn't write any posts. Okay. Next one is Instagram. So reels get you the reach, stories give you connection, and carousels for saves. People save carousels. And I can see from I've been learning how to look at my analytics. I can see from my reels that I'm getting well over 50% of my views are from people who are not my followers. But my posts are like 99% followers. So now I'm thinking I need to post reels that give value so people want to follow my actual Instagram and see my posts. So that's kind of been the ticking over in my head. Okay, here's the piece for you, Laura. TikTok, your first 3 seconds is your hook heaven. First 3 seconds is hook heaven. And show up daily if you're serious. But let's just work on like whatever you're going to set a goal for, and we're going to talk about goals in a second. YouTube, it's really important to have great thumbnails. So I'm still working on that. I feel like I've created a consistent one, but is it great? I don't know. I need to spend some time looking at other people's. You want to have searchable titles, and you want to have a consistent series. And it's a really important question to me. Like this year is build a brand in a year in under 3 hours a week. Now, I did 8 weeks, and then I was like, oh, where am I going? So I took a pause. I took 2 weeks to think about it, and I was like, you know what? I can show up and do this better. I'm going to do it all again, which was okay because you guys, as the mum tribe, were just still kind of scrambling out of the depths of life and trying to do that. You and Zephyr had fun on YouTube. I don't know why that is, Rita, so I'm going to have to work on it because I've noticed that as well. When you type mum with a side hustle, I don't come up. I don't know if that is just like being new. Yeah, but thank you. I will work on that, and then I can tell you guys how to do it if you want to start a YouTube channel. So yeah, you want to have searchable titles and a consistent series on YouTube. And Pinterest, use Canva, Pin Weekly. It's slow but effective. With everything, it's slow but effective. Everything we're doing is a long-term vision, okay? And that's why a side hustle has to be something you start on the side. I know that sounds really obvious, but a lot of people want to start a business in their part-time and they expect it to make them a lot of money initially. It's not going to do that. It's a side hustle. So side hustle it and go consistency over intensity and have a vision for it for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Okay. New and lower views so far. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Rita, is it's to do with that. Let's dive into number 8, and then we're going to bring this call to a close. So you need to create some sort of simple posting schedule, and I'm just going to quickly go over the different types of posts. So there's 4 main types of posts that you can post about. So the first one is a value post. So this is a teaching, an insight, or an inspiration. So let's take Rita as an example. She might teach us how to shade our eyes in some particular way, okay, to make them pop out. So she might do a value post around that. It might be a reel or a video or a series of pictures. That could be a carousel for you, Rita, a series of little pictures of step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, an engagement post. So that sparks conversational interaction. The first one that comes to mind, I'm just using you, Rita, as an example, is you could do an engagement post on what's your daily look. Is it a natural look, or do you go for something playful to make you feel good? Yeah, you could engage with people that way. Maybe it's a poll, or just like I love on Facebook how you can just write a question or a comment on a colored background. I think that's very, very effective for getting engagement. I tried that on Instagram and it didn't really do anything. So I know that that's a Facebook strategy and not an Instagram strategy. Okay, another type of post is a personal post. So this is a storytelling, vulnerability, or behind the scenes. And this is where, again, back to Rita's brand, she might share a story from her life that led to her starting her personal brand. Yeah, I've thought of one, but I don't know if she's ready to share that and if it even is a story, but something vulnerable about her life. I mean, Rita has told us this is public knowledge, works full-time shift work, has 3 children who she did birth herself, and breast pumps while she's milk pump. What's the word? Anyway, she pumps while she's at work. at night shifts for her babies. Yeah, super amazing, Rita. You are an incredible person, and that is a story. Okay, that's part of your story, is how you've done what you needed to do for your family, and then started the side hustle that makes you feel beautiful. And then promotional posts, so inviting people to your offer or your next step. Okay, and we did talk a little bit about how to talk about that. It's called a if you want to write a post, you can actually create a call to action. So a call to action could be, please comment on this, or it could be a whole post about a product that you offer and inviting people to discover more about it with you. Okay, so how often should you post? If you're a beginner, I would aim for 1 to 2 quality posts per week. We're going for consistency over intensity. And if you want to grow, you might want to think about 3 to 4 a week. Okay. And yeah, your story is another strategy. I was looking at someone's social media account the other day, and she really doesn't do a lot of posts, but she's on her stories like multiple times a day. So you could think about that, and we could probably maybe another thing I could learn a bit more about is how to be strategic with your stories. I like looking through the stories because I like to know what's happening for people. Like, how's that kid that was sick? Or what's Gemma, my friend, up to with her little boy again today? I like to catch up on their news through their stories, and I like to comment. Oh, that's so cool you did that with your son. I was going to say his name, but I don't know if she wants it on social media. Okay, so Laura, what is a realistic posting rhythm going to look like for you as you enter TikTok world?
I have been putting some thought into this, and I would like to think the end goal would be daily because I have a whole routine most of the days of the week. But I'd also be worried, and I think it would just grow, is like fatiguing the stuff to put on there. I think I would aim for every second day.
Yeah, that's cool. Would you consider planning ahead? Like
Yeah.
planning a week ahead?
Yeah, I think that would, if it was just a topic, but then also there might be something that pops up out of the blue, and that's just an added bonus.
Yeah, that's how I run it. Like I tend to plan a few posts so that I've got something there to actually do something with, but then I get inspired. Like Monday I got inspired because I knew that Master the Code was coming up. Master the Code is an amazing 8-week challenge. 7-week challenge to help you get dreaming again, activate your dreams. It's super powerful. Laura and I have done it. Trying to get Rita on the bandwagon because I know that it's going to shift some things for her. And for anyone who's listening, Master the Code, oh man, is life-changing. Why was I saying that now? I just got all excited about it because
Inspired on Monday.
I got inspired on Monday. Thank you. I got inspired. I found an old video that I'd made, and I was like, oh, I could repurpose this because we're doing another Master the Code challenge coming up on like the 12th of May. So I grabbed it, I repurposed it. I had to cut it down to 90 seconds, and I made it a reel. And it, like Rita has just said, because she's watched it, it's going really well. So yeah, sometimes I get inspired, and sometimes I want to post like little cute things my kids do, and I can't plan that.
Yeah. I think that's something that I've been learning along the journey is that just your presence helps build you. So it doesn't have to necessarily, oh, I have a target here. This is what I want to put out. This is what I've constructed. It's like, I'm just going to put this out there because it's on my mind or on topic of something, or I've been inspired by something. And it's just, yeah, the more you post, the more you'll grow.
Absolutely. And the more you will find things to post about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, Laura. I look forward to seeing how you go. And of course, happy to have a private conversation if you need some help.
Yeah, that's not getting
scheduling going. Sorry.
That's not getting is it?
Okay. Oh, sorry. It keeps muting you as you talk. What did you say?
It's just saying the private conversations aren't getting annoying, or?
No, not at all. Love to help you. Okay, so you don't have to do everything, be everywhere, or go viral. That's really important to understand. You don't have to go viral. You just have to show up consistently, tell the truth about your journey, and share what's helped you. And when your personal brand solves a real problem and offers encouragement, people will show up and they'll trust you enough to follow you, connect, and even buy. Okay. Remember, this is not a short-term thing. We are showing up consistently over the long term, and people will see that. So here's some homework. You should choose one primary platform. Draft a bio that tells people who you are, how you help them, and who you help and how. And do some posting ideas. So a personal post, a tip, and maybe something kind of like softer. Okay. Cool. Wow. Laura, you're the last one on the screen, and Rita's probably there. She can drop a comment. What do you want to take away from today's call, Laura?
The takeaways from today are, I don't know, just supporting that idea of, although it pays to have, you know, to be sharing your journey, you still need to put effort into how you present that. Yeah. Like you want to take it seriously enough to, but then also the other thing, like thinking about Rita, I have a similar dilemma, not necessarily about how they're going to merge, but how I want to present that. I think just spending time on getting the structure right about who, what, when, how. Yeah. But then that's also part of the journey as well. So I think if you get your first post out there, whatever that is, or not necessarily first, but you know, and you're people will see the growth in your page.
That's right. That's right. It's so good, Laura. Okay. Oh, Rita's just put a comment in the chat. So she wants to investigate TikTok and how it works, plan different types of content, and how my personal brand or stories work with my product. Cool. Awesome, Rita. And you know, if you want to have another chat, Rita, then just hit me up and we can do another Zoom call. Okay, mums, I want to encourage you and remind you that you each have a superpower because of the season you're in. When we face limits in life, these are invitations to transform ourselves into something else. So whatever you're facing, whether in your parenting or in your business or in your relationships, there's a potential to become someone even greater than you've ever been before. So let's be women who see challenges and choose to rise. So we are in the middle of week 4 of our live series on how to build a personal brand in a year in under 3 hours a week. And I've been walking you through the process step by step. So if you're in week 4, go back and watch week 3, 2, and 1. Yes, we are on YouTube, and I have hopefully got the link. I've definitely got the link on my personal Facebook page. So you can jump in there and watch the replays. The value of doing this challenge is phenomenal, and I'm not charging you for it. It is my gift to you, and I know that there are mums out there who this challenge is going to be perfect for. So look, if you're watching this video and you've got so much value out of it, please, I'd love it if you could connect me to some other mums who are working on their side hustle, who want to grow what they're doing. If you have been watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button for us. I genuinely just want to see more of us rise and shine like we are, like who we really are, you know. And I know that you've all got a beautiful story to tell, but let's find a way of telling it that feels like you. So yeah, bless you guys. Have an amazing rest of your day. And yeah, love you all. And we'll be back next week, week 5. Okay, see you later.